Hi, I'm Naomi. I'm married and I have 5 children, 4 biological sons and 1 permanent foster daughter that we received on the day she was born. And we now have guardianship of her. And I'm just going to share some thoughts because I had an abortion 11 years ago. There are many circumstances surrounding the reasons why I went for the abortion. Some are now even difficult to talk about. I remember going to my first appointment to discuss things with a counsellor about circumstances that were pressing in at the time and how I felt about the pregnancy. I told her I felt guilty as I'd always been very pro-life as a teenager and I had a son. So I felt the weight of the decision hanging over me. She drew me a fingernail-sized scribbled circle on a paper to show me what 7 weeks looked like. She told me lots of things, like what the procedure would entail, how I might experience some sadness, and that I should find someone to talk to. But what she didn't tell me was that I'd feel so alone, that I would go through the procedure alone. There would be no one to sit with me, that I'd have no one to talk to. And what she didn't tell me was that I wouldn't even be able to voice what I had done to anyone, that I would carry a deep sense of shame. What she didn't tell me was that the decision to not take away the fetus with me like they do offer, because at the time I staunchly wanted to feel no regrets, would be a nightmare I could not wake up from, that I would feel like I was not allowed to grieve. What she didn't tell me was that I would later feel suicidal, that I would want to self-harm, to inflict pain that I could physically feel instead of battling the pain that was raging inside of me. What she didn't tell me was that I'd later have panic attacks and anxiety, that I would dream that I was back in that sterile room, silently screaming and willing for it to stop, so that I wouldn't have to live with what I'd done, instead of talking about mundane things like the weather outside with the doctor. What she didn't tell me was how hard it would be to tell family and friends about what I'd done, how some would turn away in shame, how I lived trapped in a deep sense of guilt and shame, how stuck I would be in the black hole of self-hatred and loathing. What she didn't tell me was that I'd need to walk through a lot of painful healing to even feel human again. What she didn't assure me of was that many of the circumstances surrounding my situation wouldn't even be an issue down the track, and nor were there other solutions offered. What she didn't tell me was that forgiving myself would have to occur repeatedly. I found that accepting Christ's forgiveness happened first and easily. And when he revealed to me that he was with me in that room, the one place that I thought he would never be and would turn away, he was there. In Psalm 139, we sometimes miss the dark verses in there, and there's a particular verse that says, "If I go down to the grave, you are there." And I have felt like I've been buried in a grave many times, and Jesus has always been there. And he's the only reason I'm standing here today. Unless you have walked in the shoes of or sat and held the hand of a broken woman, a woman facing a major life decision like this, you'll never know the weight of self-judgment and self-condemnation. It's a weight that's far greater than anybody else could heap upon them. And if we truly value life, then that love and value must begin with the woman, the life that carries the life. Women are hurting and broken everywhere. They're looking for open hearts to sit with them in their brokenness. With the passing of the recent abortion bill, I was deeply concerned about the ramifications on the mental and emotional health of women who would undergo an abortion. But in the midst of the sadness, I also felt hope. There is always hope, and there is work to do. You can rise to be a safe place, someone for a broken, confused, angry woman to go to and be heard. Be someone who can listen as they talk through their fears, their options, and their future. Be prepared to sit with them in their darkest hour, and be someone that helps them pick up the pieces. And I just also want to insert here that I went through a really fantastic healing course through Family Life International, and I would highly encourage anybody that has been through an abortion, no matter how long ago it was, to get in touch with them or someone, another ministry that you know of. And I'd like to say to love both the woman and the child without reservation. Love them no matter what, and do not turn away. Thank you.